Hello and welcome to What the Faux Travel Podcast with Nick and Amy. This is Series 4, Episode 2, and this one is all about Turkey.
Hello, welcome to What the Faux Travel Podcast. Thanks for joining us. Like Amy said, we'll be talking about Turkey this time round. A country that I'd heard mixed reviews about before we went, to be honest. Some people saying it's fantastic, go. Other people saying don't go, it's dangerous. So I really am looking forward to sharing with you our experience that we had in Turkey.
Do we have good reviews? Do we have bad ones? Who knows?
Ooh. Okay, so let's give you guys a little update of where we are now in the world before we get into Turkey. So we are recording this episode in Ecuador, and we are in the very sleepy, quiet, chilled beach town of Ayampi, and it's a bit beautiful, isn't it, Amy?
Oh, I love it. And I hope it is going to stay quiet. There's a few dogs around, so you might hear some barking and things. And some chickens clucking as well, because we really are remote. We're just kind of surrounded by animals. At the moment, we're sitting recording in our outdoor kitchen of where we're staying, surrounded by loads of banana trees, mango trees, and I think that over there, I said that was pumpkin the other day, but I think it's butternut squash.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
There you go.
Interesting. Gardening with What the Faux.
Gardening 101.
But it really, it's a bit of paradise, really. It looks very lush and tropical, and it's very nice. And we can hear in the distance the waves crashing from near the beach. I don't think the mics are going to pick it up, but it's a good spot. And places like this make the long kind of travel days worth it because we're in such a nice place.
Yeah, we had like 4 days in overnight buses on the way here, and it was quite a stressful journey, so we stayed here longer than planned, and I think we need it. But it's a good time to talk to you guys and tell you about the other countries that we've been to, like we are doing now. On this episode about Turkey, we are going to be doing game show facts, talking about the Turkish language with Dennis, our couchsurfing host. We will talk about Ankara, Cappadocia, Konya, Pamukkale, Eskisehir, Istanbul, and we're going to be talking about Turkish breakfasts, hammams, which are spas, football in Turkey, because I hear that's quite a big thing from Nick, and markets, and of course our game for this month, which is called The Apprentice. And for good measure, we're going to add in some observations at the end as well. So let's talk about Turkey, but first, let's hear some shout-outs.
Yeah, let's start the show off in the proper way. Over Instagram, we heard from Vito. That's the name on Instagram. Or Kel Vito. You know who you are, but no one else does. He got in touch. He said, really appreciate your podcast. He said, absolutely brilliant. I found your channel by watching, guess who, Amy?
Oh, Carl Watson.
I found your channel by watching Carl Watson. This is a monthly thing now. And he said, I'm incredibly thankful for your advice, stories, and humour.
Oh, thanks, Vito.
Thank you so much. And over Twitter, we also heard from Christy W. She said, right now, I am obsessed with What the Faux Travel Podcast.
Right now, or is that going to continue?
Only now. Yeah. Soon will be yesterday's news, but great. As usual, thank you guys for getting in touch. Please send in your nice messages if you have nice messages.
I've just remembered a shout out that you've forgotten, Nick. Shout out to Hostel World, who actually put us on their top 10 travel podcast list. And I mean, guys, we're at the top.
Yeah, it doesn't specify it's in order, but let's pretend it's in order.
We were at the top.
We are at the top. Yeah, Hostel World. That's amazing recognition exactly from, our audience, if you like. You guys out there, all travellers, you all use hostels. So, yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Hostel World. And we are regular customers of yours. We do use you a lot.
Yeah, so thanks. Be grateful that we use you. So let's move on to game show facts and get stuck into Turkey.
Education time about Turkey. Let's whirl into this dervish. Once the centre of the Ottoman Empire, the modern secular republic was established in the 1920s by nationalist leader Kemal Atatürk. The mighty Ottoman Empire controlled much of Southeast Europe, Western Asia and North Africa between the 14th and early 20th centuries. It was defeated and collapsed in World War I. The population of Turkey is around 80 million and the capital is not Istanbul, it's Ankara. The language is Turkish and the major religion is Islam. Turkey's location is very important because it links Europe, Asia and the Middle East. It borders Greece, Bulgaria, Georgia, Armenia, Iran, Iraq and Syria. Istanbul is Europe's largest city, but half of it actually extends into Asia. Istanbul is the home of one of the world's biggest and oldest shopping centres. Apparently, the Grand Bazaar was the world's #1 attraction in 2014, drawing over 91 million visitors. Santa Claus is from Turkey. St. Nicholas was born far from the North Pole in Patara, Turkey. Turkey is a popular summer destination, but you can also ski in the winter. It actually claims Europe's longest natural ski run. The country is completely self-sufficient. They don't need to rely on importing foods from other countries. In fact, there's an abundance of figs, tomatoes and aubergines. Move over Britain, India and China. It's Turkey who are the world's biggest tea lovers. 96% of the population drink at least 1 cup of tea per day. If you're more of a coffee person, then Turkey's also there for you. They introduced coffee to the Europeans back in the 16th century.
Nice. I like the facts, Nick. So there's a few in there that I was going to talk about. Well, Santa Claus, first off.
Yeah, he's Turkish.
Did not know that. I mean, Santa, you're kind of fooling us with your big red jacket and your big beard and your warm clothes. Because you can't, well, you can actually. I was just going to say you can't wear that in Turkey, but when we were there, it was absolutely freezing.
Oh, God, yeah. They have proper winters in Turkey.
They really do. And also, a main one that we learnt when we was there, like you said, it's a modern secular republic, so it doesn't have like an official religion, does it?
Correct. The religion is not written into like law or the constitution. So yeah, you're right. That's what secular means. It's not a religious country, although actually doing some research, I also learnt 99% of the population are actually Muslim.
Because when we went there, we definitely thought, well, it was a Muslim country. But we were told by a tour guide that it's not.
You'll hear me get told off later.
It's quite funny.
I made that mistake.
And the last one I was going to talk about is I did not know that the country was self-sufficient.
Yeah, when it comes to food, yeah, they have an abundance. They have too much food, if anything.
That's very interesting. Well, we're going to go on to language lessons as usual, and this time they're going to be brought to you by Dennis, the absolute legend, who hosted us on Couchsurfing in Istanbul.
And this guy is a true, like, old-school explorer. It's hilarious because, like I said earlier, Istanbul is half Europe, half Asia. He actually travels to Asia to go shopping for his spices. That is like, what? Like, even though he just goes, you know, down the road, he actually travels to Asia for his spices, which is brilliant. But he was one of our Couchsurfing hosts in Istanbul and a great guy. And
that was the first time we met him, actually. He picked us up in his car and he was like, guys, we're going to Asia. I need to buy my spices. Okay. Yeah, and like when we say spices, we really mean hot chili. He put it on everything that he ate.
He loves it.
Right, so language lessons. We started by asking Dennis how to say simply hello.
Merhaba.
Oh, so it's a bit similar to Arabic then.
Yeah, it's same.
How do you say thank you?
Teşekkür ederim.
See, now I think this one is one of the most difficult thank yous to say.
Oh, this is the hardest thank you we've ever come across because people like in Norway, they say tak, or, you know, Spain, gracias, or France, merci, you know, it's quite simple. So can you say thank you again?
By the way, there is another word. Sağ ol.
Oh, we haven't heard that.
It's another one. Sağ ol. It means that be alive.
How do you spell it?
S-A... G with head and O-L. S-A-G-O-L. Sağ ol. It's another one. Usually we use that.
And so can you say the first one again, the long one?
Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ederim.
Oh yeah. Teşekkür ederim.
Say teşekkür.
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 Teşekkür
ederim.
Ederim.
Okay.
See, it's a difficult thank you.
We will use sağ ol. Okay.
I just want to get my thing in there. I just want to say, sorry seems to be the hardest word. No, it's thank you.
on the topic, how do you say sorry?
Üzgünüm. Üzgünüm.
Üzgünüm.
Pardon, like English, we sometimes say that. Özür dilerim. Özür dilerim.
Özür dilerim.
Özür dilerim.
Özür dilerim. Oh, it's really hard.
Özür.
Özür.
Say
Özür.
Like say özür dilerim.
Özür dilerim. I can't say it.
It is
It's
tough.
a really difficult language.
I have heard lots of people walking around town saying pardon. So that's more like excuse me, get out of my way.
Yes, like excuse me. Özür dilerim. Same. Like excuse me. Sorry, üzgünüm.
Okay, and how do you say please?
Lütfen.
Okay, lütfen.
Yeah.
And something that you may need to say a lot in Turkey because there's such a big shopping culture here. How do you say how much is it?
Bu ne kadar? Bu
Okay.
ne kadar?
Bu ne kadar?
Yes. Bu this how much? Ne kadar? In English, you know, there is a problem, spelling problem. You know that some people can speak English but cannot spelling. In Turkish, there is no anything like this.
It's quite phonetical.
Yes. By the way, if you say anything, you can easily write it because all the how can I say alphabet
The letters.
The letters.
have a voices, only one voices, and if you will order these letters, you can easily read it.
Okay, so the letters only have one pronunciation.
Yeah, and then in Turkish language is very logical, like formulas. Lots of people think that to learn Turkish is very difficult, but if you will understand the formulas and logic, you can easily. There is no any exceptional
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, so when a C has the like line below it, doesn't it give a CH sound like a ch?
Yeah, you know. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wonderful. And other one.
Yeah,
Oh, the S
turns
is
to
a sh.
Again, sh. A bit
How
like,
do you know this?
Well, I know
Because we're very clever.
I know because of football. So Besiktas.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yes,
So
really good.
it should be in English we'd say Besiktas. I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah, but
in
yeah, it's
Turkish
Besiktas.
it's Besiktas.
Maybe I think that you said that it's very similar in Spanish. Maybe
Oh.
I thought that is it like Spanish, not like.
Yeah,
that.
no,
Yes.
it's because
the reason
we've
of is you are very clever. Okay.
it's because we've been around Turkey and we've seen the names.
Okay. it's
Yeah.
good. Also, Turkish language is not sexist. So in Turkish language, there is no he or she. There is only one word for we saying o. If you say o, he or she, not important.
If any of you out there picked any of that up, any of the language, any of the words, I applaud you
Well
because
done.
it's such a difficult language.
It really is very different to anything we've experienced before. I think even Arabic, it's easier to learn the words, isn't
Oh,
it?
yeah.
We spoke about Arabic before on this show quite a lot. But yeah, Turkey, that was something else, the Turkish language. But I get what Dennis is saying. I think at first it can seem very daunting, but once you start to pick it up, I think it then comes to you quite quickly. Yeah, it's a logical language.
But Dennis was such a legend, wasn't he? Like, we spent quite a bit of time with him because when he went to work in the morning, he drove us into town in his car so that we could go explore Istanbul. And we had some really deep conversations in the car, didn't we?
Yeah, talking about all sorts of things in life. You know, what makes you happy in life? What should you be going for? Wealth, family, travel, whatever, all sorts of things.
And obviously all the Turkish traditions and culture.
Yeah, he taught us a lot about Turkey. Really nice guy. Very nice apartment as well, actually.
Very nice. One of our favourites.
Yeah, so we really enjoyed our time with Dennis. If you are listening, my man, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. You are a very nice guy.
And we watched, what was it, the TV programme we watched together that we found out we both watched?
Oh, it was hilarious. He just said to us one night, Do you like Last Man on Earth?
He's not from like...
He's not Russian.
Right, yeah, he's not
Kazakhstan.
Russian.
I like. Last Man on Earth. If anyone's seen it, it's an American TV show. Hilarious. And us two British people, one Turkish guy watching Last Man on Earth, laughing so much.
It's so weird because it's not a really popular programme, yet we both watch it. But that was good.
Oh, before we move on, Amy, language. Have you mastered thank you yet?
Teşekkür ederim.
I think you got worse. You were quite good in Turkey. Teşekkür ederim.
Teşekkür ederim.
Tough, man. Let's move on. Should we give everyone a brief overview of our trip around Turkey?
Yeah, so we started in the capital, Ankara. We flew into there and then got a bus to Cappadocia, or Cappadocia.
Or the little town nearby, Göreme?
Gureme. And then, that's next to Cappadocia. And then we went to Konya, Pamukkale. Oh, this one's really difficult. I don't know. I get now why you've got me to intro this.
I want you to try and say this.
Eskisehir.
I think that's pretty good. Even if we Googled the proper pronunciation, we still wouldn't be able to replicate it.
Eskisehir. Eskisehir. Well, anyway, it's spelled Eskisehir. Isehir. And then we went to Istanbul, which is easy to say.
Ankara, our first stop. So yeah, this is the unknown and unappreciated capital city of Turkey, because I think everyone thinks it's Istanbul. But we got a very cheap flight there from Cyprus. I think it was about £20. And you know what? The time we had there wasn't very long, like 1 night and 2 days to explore. I really liked it. I thought it was way more developed and much more of a better city, things to do, things to see, than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, me too. And like, we read online before to get some research of what you can do there. And everybody was saying it's a shopping town, which it is, or a shopping city. And I just feel like it was more than that. And we were quite lucky in the sense that when we arrived, we'd been traveling for a few months by this point, maybe like 3 months, and we needed a few extra things, especially because it was really cold there. So we needed to shop. We don't normally shop, especially when we're traveling, but it's such a cheap place. So I needed a new phone case because mine had broken.
There was loads of restaurants and cafes there. I remember at one point we had some food and smoked some shisha, and it's just all very, very cheap. And it was good. I wouldn't say anyone should spend more than 2 days there, but still a good place and cheap.
And if it's cheaper for you to fly into there than Istanbul, then I would definitely recommend it, because accommodation is super cheap there as well. We had one of our favourite Airbnbs there.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And it cost £9 for both of us, and we got towels, we got nice little boxes on the side of our bedside tables full of soap and shampoo. We did our washing for free. It was such a good stop, and the guy was really nice. His apartment was super big. And yeah, if you are going to Ankara, then message us on social media and we'll drop you the link to this Airbnb, because it's really good.
Absolutely. So from there, we got a bus to, in many ways, the main event. We got a bus to Cappadocia, but yeah, you have to get it to Göreme, which is like, that's the town. I think Cappadocia is like the region, a bit like the state, but Göreme is where you want to go. Now, we had high expectations for this place. This is the famous place where you can see hundreds and hundreds of hot air balloons. So yeah, we had high expectations. Is it going to live up to expectations? I thought probably not. But when we first got there, first impressions, this town is beautiful. It's built around all this, the landscape, like these rock structures that stick up almost like in triangle shapes. The town was really beautiful. Very, very touristy. It's very busy, particularly lots of Chinese people there. But what a cute little town. It reminded me a bit like a ski town.
Yeah, it really did actually. Yeah, kind of a German ski town, because everything's built in wood. It's, like you said, it's a really cute town with all these rock formations everywhere. And actually, even if you're not going for the hot air balloons, I think it's worth the drop in, because there's things you can do. There's a open air museum there which shows all these rock formations, and it teaches you how the people used to live there before. And you can go to traditional spas, hammams they're called, which we will definitely talk about later, because we have some funny stories of how that went down in the hammam separately, because men and women are separated. So we had 2 individual experiences, but they were both equally as hilarious.
It is an experience, that's true. Also in Cappadocia, you can go to an underground city, I think. Did you say that? No?
Yes.
Which we didn't. We weren't that bothered. But if you like caves and underground cities, then that'll be right up your street. But very cool place. Now, we, again, found some accommodation quite cheap. Oh, and also the bus journey there. Buses in Turkey are great. They're cheap, they're comfortable, they've all got TVs, you can plug your phone in.
They give you food.
Yeah, it's just how travel should be.
And it's
simple
clean and cheap.
Yeah, so, really recommend that's the way to get around in Turkey. We've been told it's very safe to hitchhike. We didn't, because it was so cold, but the buses were good. Now, when we first got to Göreme, we arrived at night, and our host, Airbnb host, said, tomorrow the balloons are flying. You guys are lucky.
Yes.
Great. Woke up really early, like at sunrise, 5 or 6, something like that, I think.
No, I think... actually, yeah, it was about 5 o'clock. Yeah, chucked our clothes on, wrapped up really warm, because obviously early hours of the morning it's extra cold.
And there's a specific hill kind of viewpoint you can go to. Anyone in the town will tell you where it is. We walked up, and we can see the balloons, like something's about to happen. They're blowing them up, but then no, cancel that. It was called off, and we couldn't understand why at the time, because we thought maybe the weather, the wind, but in our opinion there was no wind.
And actually, where you stand, the viewpoint, there's a massive Turkish flag. And I mean massive. It's really, really big. And it was completely flat. There was no wind pushing it in any direction. It was just laying down low. So we thought, there's no wind. It's not raining. It seems a really nice temperature. Like, why are they not going up? Nice temperature for hot air balloons, because it's good if they're cold, because obviously the hot air takes them up. So yeah, that morning they didn't go. So we went back to our hotel, spent the day at the open air museum. Had a bit of an argument while we were there.
Yeah. We did, let's be honest.
That was fun, and we showed a bit of that on our video that patrons can see. If I'm honest, the open air museum wasn't that great. I think
waste of money.
I believe, was it about £6 each?
Yep.
About £6 each to get in, which for Turkey is quite expensive. And we didn't realise until we came out of the air museum that if you go opposite, it's exactly the same thing, but with no office, and it's free. So these rock formations are everywhere, but it was actually more fun exploring them on our own, because we went through the museum. There was a little bit of write-up when we were there just to kind of understand what was going on, but not that much. So if you're on a tight budget and you still want to see it, then I'd suggest walking to, because you can walk from the town, walk to the open air museum and it will be on your right. But if you just look opposite on your left, it's exactly the same thing. And it's really fun walking up and down all the rocks. You get some great views if you crawl into some of the caves. And if you're camping, then this is a brilliant spot. I mean, as we said plenty of times now, it was really cold when we were there. What month of the year were we there? November?
It was late November or early December. So yeah, proper winter. But you're absolutely right. In the summer, it would be a fantastic place to camp. You wouldn't even need a tent, because you can go in some of the caves that used to be houses and just sleep there.
And you could tell people had already done that because there was old bonfires everywhere. And I think when we was walking up to it, there were those 3 guides that came out of the cave. I think they braved it and they did actually camp. But yeah, it seems, I mean, you should check that it's okay to camp there in terms of, because it's a part of a national park, maybe?
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, you know, if you ask, you get turned down. If you just do it and then apologise later, that's normally the best way, isn't it?
Yeah, play dumb tourist. So the second day, we actually had 3 days in Cappadocia. We could have extended it by maybe 1, because we're on a bit of a tight schedule. You know, we're thinking, if the balloons don't fly, we will be gutted. Second day, woke up early again. We were told they are flying. Went to the top of the hill. They were starting to be blown up. Great, this is good. They're going up. Suddenly everything stopped and it was silent. And we looked at each other like, no, come on. Because at this point I'm thinking, wow, the conditions need to be perfect for them to fly. Like, absolutely perfect. And how often is it perfect? People who were watching started to leave, and we thought, we're going to wait a bit. And after about 45 minutes, I think, thank God, we heard them start up again. And yeah, then they went up and flew. So it was such a range of emotions that morning. But Amy, how good was it once they were up?
It was just amazing. If I'm honest, before I went there, I really thought this was going to be some tourist trap, and like if you wanted to go to a good viewpoint, you'd have to pay, and the whole thing would just be covered in tourists. You wouldn't get any space to yourself. But I was completely wrong. I was surprised how much it meant to you, Nick, though, because I didn't realize you wanted to do it this bad. But like, you're right, it was actually a really emotional morning. We were so pumped and really happy, kind of dancing around. The balloons were going up, and then suddenly the pumps got turned off. We had all of our cameras set up ready for time lapses and selfies and all of this, and also like just some pillows and stuff to sit on. But yeah, then when the pumps got turned off, we were actually really upset because like you said, we were on a tight schedule. But then they turned them back on, and it was such an amazing feeling. We were so happy, and it was just such a stunning morning. It's one of those pinch me moments when you look at each other and think, wow, like this is why we've come traveling. This isn't a tourist trap. It's so amazing, and we just loved it.
Yeah, it was never a dream of mine like to go there. I just thought, while we're here, it'll be a shame if we didn't see the balloons. I'd be gutted. But it's one of the best things I've done, or like one of the best things I've seen. The landscape, and then the city, and everywhere you look in the sky are just 100 balloons. And it was beautiful. Like, it was one of the most beautiful things I've seen. I really, really enjoyed it. So it did live up to the hype.
I think it's actually my favourite morning of my life.
Whoa.
Not just of this trip, of my life. In terms of a morning, because we woke up, we're all snuggly in our clothes, got there, and it was really emotional. Like, you know, you don't want everything to go plain sailing. It was good that we had an adventure with our emotions without sounding too much of a hippie. But then after that, we stayed there for like a good hour and a half, 2 hours, watched all of those, got the footage that we needed, but also sat there and enjoyed it, because like we always say, make sure you always turn off your cameras and actually enjoy what you're doing, because otherwise there's no point. You know, it's not all about Instagram and getting the selfie. So after that, we went back to our accommodation, which was absolutely beautiful. They had a balcony where you can have your breakfast. And so we had our breakfast out on there and watched the balloons because they had like another hour in the air. They're up in the air for quite a long time, like 3-4 hours. And so we just sat there and watched the balloons over our balcony, and it was amazing. And actually, I just want to reference something. I watched a video not long ago of 2 people who are massive on Instagram, although I can't fully remember their name. I think it's Gypsy Lust. I think everybody interested in travel probably follows these 2 people. But they actually started this whole Cappadocia phenomenon. I don't know whether you know this, Nick, but in this documentary, this chat that I watched, they were saying that they were the first people who had their breakfasts out on the balcony, because they were inside and they was like, but why is everything in here? We want to sit outside. And so they took their like 20 plates for breakfast, because we'll tell you about a Turkish breakfast later.
Oh,
it's incredible. You get so many different things with it. They took it all outside, laid beautiful Turkish rugs and pillows, and then they had this photo taken where they're sitting on the floor eating with all the balloons in the background, and it just looks absolutely stunning. But they actually started this, and that's why Cappadocia is so famous now, because of those 2 Instagrammers.
Very interesting. But something I think is more interesting than that, Amy, like you said, is the Turkish breakfast. Now, I was very surprised by this. Before going to Turkey, all we knew about was like Turkish kebab, which in England you eat at the end of a big night out, and it's greasy and a bit disgusting. But Turkish breakfast, wow. My favourite breakfast in the world, and I thought English was always going to be my favourite. In Turkey, you get a bit of everything, like fruit and veg and salad. You get these little like pastry things wrapped in cheese. Yeah, you get meat.
Or cheese wrapped in pastry.
Or cheese wrapped in pastry, if that's the right way around. I'm not sure. But they, like, just for 2 people, they serve you, like, I don't know, like 15 plates of all this different stuff. Some stuff I don't even know what it is, but it's a real treat having a proper Turkish breakfast. And like I said earlier in Game Show Facts, they're big on their tea. I love tea, and Turkish tea in particular is so nice to drink. It's a bit smoother and not as heavy, if that's the word, as English tea. You can just drink it all day long. Yeah, it's much lighter. So yeah, Turkish breakfast, 2 thumbs up.
And I really like with the tea, because I'm not a tea drinker myself, but I think I had Turkish tea and I liked, they do an apple tea there as well. And I really liked that. And you get that at the end of your hammam, your spa. Again, we'll tell you about that in a bit. But they serve tea in these glasses, and they're kind of hourglass shaped, and they're really small, aren't they? So I think they do the same thing as Morocco, where they lift up the tea really high so that it falls and drops and creates air, so it oxidizes the tea to make it taste better. But yeah, it's a really nice tea culture there, isn't it?
And tea in a glass is the way forward. Sorry, Britain, put your mugs aside. Tea in a glass is the way.
Get rid of that China.
We'll just finish our chat with the hot air balloons by saying that the 3rd day we were there, again, the balloons did go up, and it was really nice because this time we could just relax and watch it rather than worry about getting the right picture and everything like that. So they went up again. Now, we will talk about hammams, like Amy said, the spa. But first of all, while we were in Cappadocia, we spoke to Forkan at Cappadocia Exclusive Travel, and we asked him, why is Cappadocia the perfect place for hot air balloons?
First, weather, because ballon is important for wind. And in Cappadocia, very good weather for ballon, and then for very good view, landscape in Cappadocia for balloons.
I guess it's a good job to be a pilot of a balloon. And are they like celebrities in the area?
I think it's good job, but is every day wake up sunrise time. Yeah. For this, not good.
Yeah, not much sleep.
Not for much sleep, because sunrise time is important. Sleep time, but every day him wake up important time, and for this not good. The other one is good job.
Yeah,
I agree, not good.
And I guess sometimes they wake up early and then they don't fly.
In winter many times is cancel balloons for the weather, but in summer like very little, like 1 month maybe 1 times or 2 times cancel. Also summer wake up more early. This depends the sunrise, like 3:30, 4 o'clock. Around is wake up early balloon pilots.
So in the summer, in 1 month, there's only 1 or 2 days cancelled, but But in winter, what do you think? Maybe half the time it's cancelled or not?
In winter also not much. Some change weather time is like summer to winter, winter to summer time is like many times cancelled. Also winter time, like snow time, also we are fly. If wind, it is cancelled. Also last 2-3 years control is by the government. If little bit problem, they open red flag and cancel. Maybe 1 month, 10 days around cancel.
Okay.
What other things can you do in Cappadocia? So you can do the balloons.
We do here balloons for activities. Also we have some daily tours with guiding in all popular places we are visiting. And in Cappadocia have many places have all the church, all the mosque, church, and some monastery. And this is here is like cultural tourism.
And there's the underground city as well.
Yeah, also underground city. In Cappadocia have many underground city. Some place very big, some place small. But inside all same, like 90% same. Someone is very big, like 5 level down, like 6 level down. Some place only 1 level. There is a have very small room, big room, small hall. Many years ago, some people living there.
Thanks to Furkan at Cappadocia Exclusive Travel there for talking to us.
I have a fun fact about hot air balloon pilots. So apparently in Cappadocia, the pilots have to train 5 times longer than they do anywhere else in the world.
That is cray-cray.
So I don't know if that makes it 5 times safer, but I do know that it is the safest place to do hot air balloons there because there are just so many. And also apparently half of all hot air balloon flights worldwide happen in Cappadocia. Whoa!
That just shows how many balloons go up when they go up. There is just tons. They're just dotted around the sky. It's amazing. Really is amazing. But I have a little Instagram tip for you guys. For if you go there and you're dying to see the balloons to get that Insta shot, then I got a little tip for you. What you can do is what I did on the first day they didn't go up, was I had a picture, had a good old selfie, like I was happy that I had the balloons behind me. And then once you're in Instagram, you can draw yourself some balloons behind you. I mean, it got me some really good praise, actually.
That was actually one of our most popular Instagram pictures.
Just drawn all these crappy kind of hot air balloons behind me in different colours. But yeah, if you haven't seen the picture, then head to our Instagram because you'll see it there.
Right, let's talk about getting scrubbed down and soaped up by Turkish strangers.
Yeah, this is the best part of the trip. So this is a hammam, and they're different to our type of spas because a massage isn't what I guess what we would call like a deep tissue massage or whatever, where you're laying on a nice comfortable bed, you've got towels, you're nice and warm, there's some really cool music like meditation music in the background, some hot oil, and a very nice professional person, you know, getting rid of your muscle pain. Turkey hammams are a little bit different, but I actually really enjoyed it, so much so I went back. I went back for more scrubbing, okay? So when you arrive, they give you your towel and all of that, and somewhere for you, I think for the girls. What did you get? You got something different to me. Did you get some sort of bathing suit?
No, you just get a robe a towel to put around you and some slippers, I think. And I wasn't sure whether to be naked under the towel or not. I wasn't, because I'm British, but actually I think you are supposed to be naked. So you get a place to change, don't you? And then you go through and you do it in stages. Do you remember the first stage?
Yeah, I think the first stage is you shower. Well,
yep.
Wait, let's go back. So I got a towel as well, and this towel, you wrap it around you as you go through. I was wearing a bikini, and most of the women are. I'll tell you later because you do take that off. So the first thing you do is you sit down in your towel and bikini or shorts, however you're dressed, and a woman or man will put a face mask on you, and you're meant to leave that on until it dries. So you go into the second stage, which is a dry sauna.
That is correct. And wearing this face mask but then sweating was strange because it just still starts dripping down your face.
Did it? Because mine dried.
I know, mine was very sweaty. And after that, I wasn't really sure how long I'm supposed to be in there for or where I'm supposed to go next.
It was 15 minutes because my woman came in and she turned the timer in the sauna, and she pointed at it, and she said like 15 minutes.
Right, because then after that, do you then shower to get the sweat and the face mask off before you get scrubbed?
No, so my next stage was I went into a pool, and I thought you had some sort of jacuzzi because they were definitely different, but mine was kind of a cold pool. So yeah, I think I showered, but then got in the pool with the face mask. Then I had to get back in the shower. It's a very weird system, and I was the only tourist in there, which was really nice actually. There was a family of women in there, obviously because I weren't around the men, but all the women were together, and there was these two little girls. They must have been about 7 years old, and they were like pointing to me going, go in the swimming pool, go in the shower. And so they kind of directed me through. But then I think after the swimming pool, I showered again. Then I went into the main room. So this main room is just marble. It's normally a circle or kind of like an octagon shape. And around the edge, you have the chairs that you sit on and wait until a masseuse is ready for you. And there's kind of taps everywhere. It's a bit like the baths in Budapest, if you've been there. Once you're in this big room, they use that towel that you had around you. They lay that down and you lay on top of it, but everything is soaking wet. So as soon as you put that towel down, there's hot water everywhere. But in my room, it's an octagon shape. So you're laying along the straight edges where the other women are, but they ask you to take your clothes off. So as you walk in, when you first walk into this big room, you just see all these naked wet women everywhere.
Wet women.
Just boobs everywhere. I mean, guys, it would be an absolute dream for you guys to walk into this room. It was just so bizarre. And I walked in and she was like, take your bikini off. And I was like, okay. But I felt comfortable because, everybody's got their top off, having a great time. So, yeah, and then you just lay there and then they start scrubbing. Nick, what is the scrubbing like?
Yeah, they get the sandpaper out, and that's what it feels like. Sandpaper all over your body, like everywhere on your body, scrubbing all the dead skin off. Very weird sensation. And then they soap you up. And yeah, because I couldn't really see very much because I'm wet and there was soap everywhere, but I'm pretty sure they get some sort of towel and they're like whipping it around using the air to create these big soap bubbles. And there's so much soap. There's soap everywhere. They soap you up. Then they obviously wash the soap off. But at one point, it's just, I've never seen so much soap lathered up. And it was a very, very strange experience, especially if you're not really comfortable being naked in a room with other strangers, which are most people.
So when you had your massage, did they ask you to take your swimming shorts off?
No, I kept them on, but I think I wasn't, not that I was looking, but I think everyone else was naked. But no, I still had my swimming shorts on, but just rolled them up a lot.
But it might sound quite horrible with all this sandpaper, but I actually really enjoyed it because it really smooths you down, gets rid of all of your dead skin. Sorry if you can hear that dog in the background. Then they get you to sit up. And this is the funny bit because they wash you. So yeah, once you've been soaped, they get some shampoo. And she was washing my hair. I was like, I feel like a child again in the bath. So she was soaping up my hair. And at this point, you've got soap in your eyes. You can't see anything. And then all the taps that are around the room, they fill that up with hot water. And they just literally chuck water at you, and it's like the ice bucket challenge but with hot water, I guess. And they just chuck water over you for a few minutes. Then after that, you're all washed and you can go dry, and then you get into your robe, sit in another room, a nice relaxing room, and they give you some apple tea and you're done.
That's it. We definitely would recommend it. It was relaxing, not all the time, but at the end we felt great. Our skin was smooth. We were clean. It was a really good experience. So yeah, check out a hammam when you're in Turkey.
And just so you know, for pricing, all of that cost around, was it $20 or £20?
Yeah, I think $20.
That's like a good price. I don't think you'll get much cheaper than that because we went to a really local, authentic place. It can get more expensive than that. But, I think it can go up to $45 if you add on extra massages and things like that, which I did on my second time of going. Because, Nick, you went to the football one night, didn't you?
Yes, I did. So we'll talk about that later in Istanbul, because that was another really good local experience through couchsurfing, actually. But the hammam we're talking about, we did that in Cappadocia. So then that was it. Like, our time in Cappadocia was over. It was fantastic, best part of the trip, and it was time to move on. And we went to a place called Konya. So our next stop was Konya, a place we knew nothing about, apart from that this is where the whirling dervishes came from. Now, it's quite a popular thing to see when you go to Turkey. There's a lot of performances in Istanbul, but this is where it's from. So for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, to describe it, it's like men that wear this kind of long, kind of flowing, almost dress, I guess, but they spin around, they whirl, and as they spin around, the clothes they're wearing, create a really nice kind of perfect circle shape.
And they're also wearing those hats as well that look like kafes.
That's true. Now what it is, it's a religious dance known as Sufi whirling, so also known as that, from the 12th century. But what these men would do, it's kind of a form of meditation, and it's a way to be closer to God. It's turned into a bit of a tourist attraction now, and in Konya they only perform this on a Saturday, and we weren't there on a Saturday, unfortunately.
Yeah, which was such a shame, especially because this is where it was born. So yeah, all the Sufi people, this is kind of the base of their religion, I believe. And so yeah, it was such a shame that we couldn't see it in the place that was born. That's why we went there. And online it said there was lots of places that did it on a Saturday, and like we said, we weren't there, but we thought if we get there, we'll be able to find somewhere that will do it on the day that we're there. But that wasn't the case.
No, but it was a good stop between Cappadocia and our next stop, and the city itself was actually quite nice. Again, I was pleasantly surprised, very developed, very clean. It was nice.
And one of our listeners, Adele, if you're listening, thanks for your advice. So she said definitely go there because it's really interesting and she loved it. There is a museum there that you can go to as well. It's free. We went there just to learn some more. But we didn't actually learn that much, if I'm honest. We did actually bump into a school trip that was there. And so the teacher was very excited about the kids talking to us because they could practice their English. And that was quite a good local experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was nice. That was the highlight of Konya, really.
Yeah, but unless you're a museum person or you're going to be there on a Saturday or you're religious, I wouldn't necessarily say make much time. Don't go out of your way to go to Konya. Adele disagrees. She really liked it. So, people are different. But I wouldn't really recommend it too much unless you're there on a Saturday.
That's fair enough. Next stop, Amy.
Yeah, so our next stop, you may have heard of it. It's Pamukkale. And this is really famous for their kind of white cliffs that you can walk along. And this was the first time we ever did a hike barefoot, actually.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to wear shoes on the white cliffs, and from a distance it looked like snowy cliffs, but they're not. It's calcium deposits from the thermal waters below.
Yeah, they are mineral-rich thermal waters. So they flow down white, I think it's called travertine terraces.
Whoa.
That's hard to say. Travertine terraces. It's like on a nearby hillside from the town that it's in. It neighbours Aeropolis, which is at the top, and that's an old Roman spa city which was founded in 190 BC.
Good information, Amy, from the top of your head.
Thank you. So yeah, they're ruins that are at the top. What we did was we started from the bottom. You get to the entrance gate, pay your ticket. How much was it?
I can't remember, but I think it was, especially for our budget, it was quite a bit, like £10 or £15 each. So straight away we've hit our daily budget.
I think it was around 15 to 20. But I think we have different opinions, which we'll talk about because, we thought different on this day. But, you get to the entrance, take your shoes off, and then start walking up the cliffs. At first, it's really spiky and hurts your feet. But I thought it was going to be warm because they're thermal pools. I thought that would heat up this calcium, but it doesn't. It wasn't cold, but, And anyway, the thermal water is flowing down so you can put your feet in pools on the way up. And then, you get to the main pools, and it's hard to describe if you haven't already seen a picture. It's white calcium that looks like snow with pools coming off a cliff with blue water, really. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and if you look on Instagram or Google a picture, you can see some amazing images which have been photoshopped. I thought in real life, It didn't look very good because we were there in winter, low season. A lot of it was closed, and there were men there building like the terraces. It's not natural, people. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's not natural. It's built. It's man-made. And I just was not impressed with it. I just thought, this is not worth the money. Yeah, you can put your feet in some warm water, but we've done that in much better places around the world. I thought Pamukkale was rubbish and a waste of time and a waste of money.
Okay, well, I think it was really good. I do think it was expensive for what it was, because we're saying you can put your feet in, but during the winter, that's all you can do. But during the summer, everybody goes with their bikinis and swimming shorts, and they sit in the pools, and it's kind of a day spa, really. So I think it's worth that. I think they should adjust their prices for the winter, because it's just not that good. You also get the ruins at the top within that price, and, you know, there's toilets everywhere. It's a tourist attraction where, you know, you're kind of looked after. There's people selling food up there. And there's also the natural park pool as well, the antique pools, which people were getting in the winter, but I think you have to pay an extra price. I think it was like an extra £5 to get in the water. We did consider it, but then we thought, do you know what? We've already spent a lot of money today. We've been in thermal pools before. We knew we were coming to South America where there's lots of thermal pools. So we opted out of that. But the water does look beautiful, and all of the ruins in these extra pools that you pay for have kind of fallen. So there's fallen pillars in there, and you swim around those, which is really cool because apparently they're original.
Yeah, and that does look quite good. That's the unique thing about the pool at the top. But yeah, it was all right.
I liked it. I do think it was a bit too expensive by about £5. If it was £5 cheaper, I think it's a really good day out. I've never done a barefoot hike before. I really enjoyed it, and we got some good pics out of it.
There you go. Next stop.
Okay, Nick, it's your time to explain the name of this place.
Okay, so Eskisehir, nailed it. We ended up there by accident, actually, because we got a train this time from Pamukkale. It was actually the neighbouring town, Denizli, I believe it's called. You'll see on the map, Denizli. So we got a train, and we wanted to get to Istanbul. It's quite a long journey. We were late for the train because we were running late, and we couldn't find the train station. But we asked a local person, a man who went out of his way to show us where the train station was. And this was a common thing in Turkey. We ask a local for help. Not only do they give us that help, they go above and beyond. At one point in Konya, actually, we asked a girl, a student, for directions to the bus station. She came with us out of her way again, and at the end gave Amy a present. She gave you a little mirror with like gems that she stuck on it.
Oh, she was so sweet, and I just felt so embarrassed because I thought, you've already helped us, I should be giving you a present. But I didn't have anything on me, and she was saying, no, I want you to have it, and I think she'd made it herself.
So on the topic of kind people, we got to our train just in time, ran on. Then we didn't realise it was like a 9-hour train to this Eskisehir place, which we then had to change trains for Istanbul. But 9 hours, no stops, and we had no food or water, and we hadn't had breakfast. There was this old couple sat a few rows in front, and when they heard that we were asking the man on the train who works there, we were asking him, is there any food? But, you know, they heard us, and they gave us sandwiches and drinks, like little
and some chocolate bars.
Like juice box and like bottle of water. This sweet old couple, they saved us.
They really did, because on these trains, all the buses in Turkey were so outstanding. Like, they went above and beyond. They fed you. They were super clean. We thought, like, even trains in England have, like, kind of mini bar restaurants on them. And when you travel a lot, you know that people walk up and down the train selling things like tea and things like that. It was so early in the morning, we couldn't have had breakfast. So we jumped on the train hoping for the bar, but yeah, it just wasn't there. And this elderly couple that helped us, honestly, they break my heart. If you've ever seen the film Up, they really remind me of the couple on there because the guy really looks like him.
Mr. Fredrickson.
Oh, God, they just break my heart. And every time I see that picture, it just warms my heart. They were so sweet. And then actually when we got off the train, we were trying to then rebook another one to get to Istanbul because we couldn't book it on the internet, and we couldn't get a train because it was fully booked. When is a train fully booked?
And several
several of them. And so we couldn't get to Istanbul that night, so we had to go find a hotel, and we saw them outside and they gave us extra food.
These two, what a dream. And yeah, we had a selfie with them, put it on Instagram stories. Instagram's always the best way to follow our trip because we put a lot of extra stuff on our stories. But these two, they saved us. But again, this was normal in Turkey. We were getting used to it. The people were so helpful and friendly. So this place, Eskisehir. We only stayed for the one night. Early the next day, we got a bus to Istanbul because that's where we wanted to be. But again, like a nice modern city. Remember the river running through the centre, loads of restaurants and bars each side, all good prices. Again, I was very impressed.
It actually felt very Parisian, didn't it?
Oh, it did. That's a good word, Amy.
Thank you very much. So it was a much bigger city than I was expecting it to be when we first walked out of the train station. And yeah, we found a hotel and then went out to find some food. And yeah, walking along these pretty little bridges. It's a mix of like Paris and Venice in one part of it. It was really nice. And yeah, we just had a nice meal, went back, got some sleep, and then made our journey to Istanbul.
Yeah, so Istanbul is coming. But before that, it's time for our game. And this time it's something very different.
Now, like Nick was saying, if you follow us on Instagram, then you are going to see the majority of our trip. But then if you're on Patreon, you're going to see all of our trip. There you go.
Patrons are so special. Don't you want to be a patron as well?
So, yeah, we played a game on our Instagram stories called The Apprentice. Now, you may have this in your country. We have it in England and they have it in the US for sure. It's where a billionaire or a business leader in your country designs tasks and you're an apprentice, and by the end of it, one person gets a job. Now, regularly on the English one, they have a shopping challenge. So they're normally in a different country actually, which is why this was something that we thought about doing. And you get a list of things to buy and you need to buy them for the cheapest price possible. You need to be good at budgeting, you need to be good at time, and don't be late at the end.
We should explain at this point, it's a TV show. It's not just a game we play in England.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's a TV show.
But a TV show, the American one actually, I know Donald Trump used to be like the main guy on it who would give the challenges and then at the end he would employ someone.
Yeah, and in England, our guy is called Lord Alan Sugar, and I'm absolutely in love with him. He has two side people who follow the apprentices round. The woman is called Karen and the guy is called Claude, who again I am in love with. But anyway, let's get to it and meet Lord Alan Sugar.
Right, Nick and Amy from What the Po. Actually, sir, that's not how you pronounce. Shut it, you. Amy. Is he always like this?
Is this me? Am I? Yeah.
Right. I started in business when I was 7. I bought a van. I bought some stuff. I put it in the van and sold it. Then I put that van in another van and sold that. I'm looking for a new business partner, and it'll be one of you two. All right? Off you go to Istanbul. You have your list of required items.
You're losing it. Keep the accent going.
You have your list of required items. I'll see you back in the ballroom in a few days' time. Good luck.
Off I go. Okay, so I'm walking down the main road of the Grand Bazaar. Our tour guide the other day was saying that once you walk past 10 shops, they kind of repeat, so you kind of know what you're going to get. I'm going past a lot of jewellery shops and places that are selling pure gold. Well, I'm not sure whether it's real or not. I'm going past a jewellery shop with a baby in the window, like a fake baby. That's weird. A lot of like lantern shops. Right, so my 3 items, I need to get an inhaler. So I'm thinking a pharmacy for that one. I also need to get eyebrow dye because, well, I do genuinely need that. I'm losing my eyebrows in the sun here. And also I need to get a mic muff. So that's something you put over a microphone to stop the wind if you're not sure. But it needs to fit on our camera. So I need to find a camera shop, a pharmacy, and actually a pharmacy for the other item as well. So let's see how I get on.
Project manager, I'm making an early tactical decision to leave the bazaar. The 3 items I need: electric razor, swim shorts and laptop covers. I've seen nothing like that in the bazaar. It's all just like souvenirs, like bags and lamps and rugs and things like that. So that's the decision I'm going to make. I have to live and die by my decisions, but let's see what we can find outside the bazaar.
Excuse me.
Yes, please.
This egg zone, do you know where it's?
Eczane.
Eczane.
100 meters, okay.
100 metres?
Yes.
Okay, there she goes. There you go. The best way to get somewhere quickly is ask the locals. I'm not sure whether Nick will be doing that. because he's a man. Sorry to be sexist, guys, but men don't normally like to ask for advice. So I'm thinking this is what's going to get me ahead.
This decision to leave town has cost me quite a bit of time, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to a better place to buy electrical items. Let's hope it pays off.
Right, I'm just walking outside the Eskisehir, if that's how you say it. I've been into a few on this trip and they haven't had the right inhaler, so let's hope that they have it. Let's see. Hello, do you have a inhaler? But this one? No. Will any one? Down there. Okay, teşekkür ederim. Right, tell me to go to the pharmacy down to the left. Let's try and find that one.
Claude Littner here, aide to Lord Sugar. Amy can be aggressive when she wants to be aggressive. She can be super clever when she wants to be. I think she's quite manipulative, but also quite brilliant. Hello.
Yes.
I'm looking for a thing here, an electric
Yes.
razor with rechargeable battery.
Rechargeable.
Yeah. What do you have?
This is normal standard.
How much does it cost?
This standard model.
Yeah. How much?
75, 100 lira, 125 lira.
Okay.
This one?
Yeah, let's have a look. Thank you.
This
Yeah.
good model,
Okay.
rechargeable, same battery,
Yes.
Battery?
Same battery,
Yes.
rechargeable. And how much is this one?
125 lira.
Oh, 125.
Discount 100, my friend.
Can I see the one which is 75?
Yes, sorry.
That one is 60? 60?
65. Come.
65.
65.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I gave up asking local people, started using my Google Maps. It just took me back to the first pharmacy that I went to, so this is going well.
I've now come back to the Grand Bazaar, got the tram back here. On the journey back here, I was hoping to see some shops on the street selling the other items that I need, laptop cover and shorts, swimming shorts, but didn't see anything, so I've come back to the Grand Bazaar for a last-ditch attempt to get the remaining items.
Hello. I need this Foster inhaler.
Yes,
Perfect. And how much? 64. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I have my inhaler, which means I have one item. Right, I need to run to the Canon shop, and on the way I'm going to try and see some like beauty shops to try and get my eyebrow dye. Oh my god! I wonder how Nick's doing.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
I just need some shorts, like there's some shorts here, like these things, like for a man. Do you have anything? Only for children?
Children, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Only swimming shorts or football shorts?
Yeah, football shorts or swimming shorts. Yeah. Do you know where I can go?
Name of like cotton.
Possibly that way.
That way, yeah. So let's start.
Cool. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Can I get to Kadıköy?
Kadıköy.
Kadıköy on this
Yes.
line.
Ram. Okay.
Yeah.
Sirkeci station change.
Yeah.
Marmara Line.
Marmara. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I need to put money in. Teşekkür ederim.
Kartınızı ve bozuk paranızı aşağıdan alabilirsiniz. Please put closer your Istanbul card to the card. Please wait. Your request is in process.
I don't think I've been on this line, Marmara line. So I don't actually know where I'm going, but I've got to cross the water to get onto the other island. It's not to Asia, but there's another island. Let's hope I can get back in time.
For these, if I can do 25, then I have one. Yes.
Look
Cool.
size. Look at size.
Yeah. I don't know. Stretches. Do you have bigger? What size there?
L.
Oh, large.
Large is okay for you?
Yeah, for me. Yeah, and you can tie them. Yeah. Okay, 25? Right, thank you.
I'm Karen Brady, advisor to Lord Sugar. The retailer was obviously happy to negotiate. For Nick to go down to only 25 lira shows clear business naivety.
Oh, I think I just missed a train. I just run down. But I think I just missed the one that just left. Hopefully there'll be one here soon because it's 16 minutes past 2. I have one item. I'm going to get another one which might not be there. Hopefully I can get back in time.
So I've made it back to the meeting point a bit early, about 5 or 10 minutes early. I got 2 out of 3 items. I couldn't find laptop covers. But I've just had a text message from Amy and there's been a big plot twist. I don't think she's going to make it here on time.
So I think I got it a bit wrong. I thought I was changing islands to a different place on the Europe side, but I think I've just come to Asia. I do not know how I've done this. So it turns out it's 10 to 3 and the task was meant to finish at 2:30. I'm in Asia. Nick's coming to collect me because I don't have enough money. That's if I buy this thing in this mic muff in Canon. I won't be able to get back. So really, who's the winner? I've gone to another continent.
All right, Nick and Amy, welcome back into the boardroom. I don't know what this voice is.
That is not Alan Sugar.
Welcome back into the boardroom after your exploits in Istanbul. Amy, you went to the wrong bloody continent. So it's with regret that Amy, you're fired.
Standard. I mean, I have actually been fired twice in my life before. So.
That means that Nick, you are my new business partner. That's me.
Are you done with your impressions now?
I think so, yeah. What do you mean, impressions?
I'm going to just skip past this awkwardness that you're making.
So, yeah, I obviously won.
You did. You won. You did very well. And you, not only did you win, you also came to collect me. You came from Europe to Asia because I didn't have enough money to get back.
So I won and saved you.
Yeah.
But Istanbul, like, what a setting to do this. It was the perfect place. Now, yeah, this is an epic city, biggest in Europe. I didn't know that at the time.
Massive.
Yeah, it's a huge city. It feels like just the center of the world. I feel like every culture and you can get anything there. But we were very impressed with Istanbul, weren't we?
Yeah, we really were. And actually, well, when we first arrived, we both were like, oh, I don't know how to feel about this place. Normally, our gut feeling when we first arrive is really true. And we always end up thinking the same as when we started. But this was different. We didn't really like it. We just thought, oh, it all seems a bit unsafe until we met Baron. Now, we met him through couch surfing. And this is the guy that Nick went to football with, which he'll explain in a bit. But we had a great first night with him. He took us to this shisha bar and I was the only woman in there, which was a little bit intimidating, but it was fine. I felt comfortable. And we were sitting in this corner, smoking some really good shisha. I really hate smoking. I really am against it. And because I have lung problems and stuff. But I actually love shisha and I shouldn't because I shouldn't be smoking it. But I love it.
Yeah, it's actually really nice and very social and very relaxing. The flavours of the shisha were nice. So, yeah, we enjoyed it. Now, like you said, Istanbul at first was a bit of a daunting city. So meeting up with this guy, Baran, who we met through couchsurfing, it just calmed us down completely. We're with a local, he knows where he's going, went to some nice cafes, and we really started to enjoy Istanbul. But the main reason why I spoke to him through couchsurfing is because I wanted to get football tickets to watch any football team in Istanbul because they've got 3 or 4 big teams there, Fenerbahce, Besiktas, and also Galatasaray. Now, that's who Baron supports, and he helped me get tickets because it's actually very difficult. You have to be registered because they get a lot of hooliganism, a lot of violence in Turkey. But he helped me get tickets, and it's something I really wanted to do. And it was a fantastic experience. But at the same time, we started this conversation on couchsurfing, other people joined in. And in the end, he got tickets for an Egyptian guy and an Iranian guy and his girlfriend. And then in the end, a whole group of us went to football. It was so random, but it was a really good night.
It was a really good vibe. And I know we talk about couchsurfing a lot, but it really does just enhance our whole trip. And we all met together on one of the most famous roads in Istanbul, and it's called Taksim, or that's kind of like the area, but Taksim Road. And he took us to some cool bars, and the vibe was so good. I actually considered coming to the football with you rather than going to a hammam, but then I was like, actually no, I've come out with no makeup on because I'm ready to just go relax. So you all went to the football together. It looked like you had a really good time, but I enjoyed my hammam.
You got scrubbed down again. You're getting addicted, aren't you?
I am.
But, just in general, Istanbul, wow, what a city. It's massive, a lot to see, a lot to do. There's so much happening there. And while we're in Istanbul, you know us, of course, we did a free walking tour with this woman.
My name is Gülperi and I'm a professional tour guide in Istanbul.
As well as the Grand Bazaar, the Blue Mosque is incredibly famous in Istanbul. So we asked her, it's called the Blue Mosque, but it's not actually blue, is it? So why does it have that nickname?
Because for the decoration of the interior of mosque, they used around 21,000 iznik tas, and dominant color of the size is blue. This is the only reason why most tourists call Sultan Ahmet Mosque as Blue Mosque. As locals, we have no idea where is the Blue Mosque.
No. Okay. And how many mosques are there in Istanbul?
There are 3,113 mosques in Istanbul.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot.
A lot, yeah.
So earlier you were talking about burqas, and you said a few years ago women that wore the burqas, they
Yes.
couldn't work
Yeah.
in what, government offices?
Government offices, or they couldn't study in any public schools, even the public universities, because it was forbidden. Because during the Ottoman period, all the women, they had to be fully covered. But after foundation of Republic, the founder of Republic, Atatürk, or Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, he said, this country will going to be more secular country. Then he said, you don't have to cover your hair, but if you do it, you cannot work. So it was forbidden till a couple of years ago. But a couple of years ago, this condition, the situation has changed. So everyone, if they like, they can cover their hair in any government office or in any universities, or they can work, they can put on as they wish in Turkey today.
Yeah, because, I mean, on this topic, Turkey is an Islamic country.
No, Turkey is not
so-
an Islamic country.
Ah.
Turkey is a secular, democratic country.
So like you were saying, yeah, of course.
Of course, 99% of them, they call themselves as Muslim, but Turkey is not an Islamic country. Turkey is a secular, democratic country.
Right, okay, I'm good. I'm glad you explained that. And do you think, because Istanbul is divided, Europe and Asia,
Yeah.
what are the differences between the two sides, and what's your favourite?
Well, actually, I used to live on European side for 5.5 years, and more crowded, less green areas, and too much rush also for European side of Istanbul. But the Asian side is more local, more green areas, and again, I need to say, people are more polite to live, who is living on Asian side of Istanbul. Yeah. Otherwise, nothing is different. You can do whatever you like, almost on Asia and Europe, except the historical parts, of course, and almost it's almost same. I
Yeah,
can
because
say, yeah.
I've actually, before coming here, I heard that there's not that much to do on the Asian side.
As a tourist, if you are looking everything as a touristic attraction or something, yes. But of course, if you want to hang around, you can try Kadıköy. What is the Taksim for the new town of Istanbul? For European side, Kadıköy is the almost same, even better than Taksim, I can say. There are nice shopping areas as well for hanging around or walking around. And it's easy to access seashores on Asian side of Istanbul when we compare with European side of Istanbul also. But, depends what you want to do. If you want to visit just the museums, of course, not many things to do. But if you like, even you can go up the Çamlıca Hill, where this morning we saw the Çamlıca Mosque, the biggest one. It's quite a nice panoramic viewpoint as well. Or mostly what we are doing as the locals, we go to, the weekends, shopping malls, spend some time, do shopping. That's all actually. You can do same thing on Asia as well.
This might make sense to you or it might not, but a friend of ours who lives here, he told us that if the whole world was one country,
Yes.
Istanbul would be
Napoleon
the capital.
Bonaparte said it, not the he.
Okay.
In 17th century, Napoleon Bonaparte, when he came to Constantinople, he said, if the whole world is a country, capital could be the Constantinople.
So that's what Constantinople was.
Istanbul.
Istanbul, yeah.
Exactly. Until 1930, officially, no Istanbul.
And can you tell us a little bit about the military service here? So it's mandatory for
Mandatory for the men, not for the women. If your age is 20 years old, you have to join the army in Turkey. But year by year, this process is getting shorter. Like a couple of years ago, it was 15 months, but this year, right now, it's just 1 year something. And for the future, they are planning to make it shorter, 9 months for everyone. It's a mandatory, and you have to do it. But the process is mostly changing according to your education level. If you graduate from primary, secondary, high school for a year. If you graduate from university doing your master, PhD, doctor or something else, only for 5 months you have to join the army in Turkey. But a couple of months ago they said, if you like, if your age is 25 years old and more, you can pay 15,000 Turkish liras. After you paid 15,000 euros, only for 3 weeks, just for 21 days, you go to different part of Turkey, then come back to your hometown. That's all.
That's all.
So So do you think it would ever change and it would be mandatory for women to do national service?
No, I don't think so, because there are many military schools in Turkey. So if you would like to gonna be a soldier, as a paid soldier, you can study in one of them. But of course, they are checking your height, your weight, and your physique, everything. So you must gonna be almost perfect. Then you can be one of the paid soldiers in army as a woman also. But I don't think it will gonna be mandatory for the women, because for the future they try to make it shorter. They still discuss about it.
So what's the tour company that you work for, and how can people find you?
They can find us very easily. We are on TripAdvisor. Via Urbis is the name of the company, or freetour.com also they can access to us via Urbis. Every day we do free walking tour for the English and Spanish on all town of Istanbul. We walk around the highlights of the city, and the meeting point is between the Hagia Sophia and Blue Mosque, the pool. That's all.
So there we are. You guys learnt about Istanbul, and you also heard me getting told off for saying that Turkey is an Islamic country.
I think she told you off better than I do.
But I'm glad it clarified the situation there. I won't make that mistake again.
So let's move on to the end section of the podcast. So we have Fobservations. If you haven't heard of Fobservations before, they are observations from What the Faux. Fobservations, if you will.
Obviously.
So these are just things that we kind of observe and pick up on our way round that we just think's worth telling you. So going round Turkey, we noticed that their jam is incredibly runny.
Liquid jam, yeah. We also noticed that stuff doesn't stay open late, like shops and things like that.
And you get quick food service, very quick.
There's a lot of ATMs in Turkey. Good ATM game, which I always like when we're traveling, because you need cash on you. Some places don't take card, but then in these countries where you need cash, there's like no ATMs. So well done, Turkey.
Exactly the place that we're in now, actually. There's a whole village and everything, but there's not even one ATM. So you have to come with all the money you'll need, which is a bit scary. Anyway, back to Turkey. They bloody love their flag. I can honestly say I've never, ever seen so many flags in a country before. Everywhere you look, there was about 5 right in front of your eyes. It was crazy.
Yeah, which, that's good. Being proud of your country. I like traveling and seeing other people's flags everywhere. And finally, we've written this down, but I don't really remember it. Apparently, they love a cover song.
Oh,
I
remember that. Yeah, every bar we went into, they were doing a cover of some song. They loved it.
They love a cover, liquidy jam and a cover song. So, yeah, that is it. After Istanbul, we then flew to Portugal, which you will hear later in the series. But yeah, what a great, as you can tell from the way we described it, what a great experience we had in Turkey. It was a fantastic country, a place we didn't know anything about, but we know a lot about now. Maybe misunderstood, bad reputation in the media for whatever reason, politics, whatever. But it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I'm quite surprised really that people were saying, we have spoke to people that said, oh, I wouldn't go to Turkey and all of that, but I just really don't understand why. I think it's got great tourism, there's lots to see, people are super nice, it's cheap, especially compared to the Great British Pound. It's a really nice country.
And we want to go back in the summer, don't we?
Yeah, we do. So we want to explore the coast when the weather's a bit better, and because it's so cheap, we definitely are going to do that.
One thing I want to mention before we go, breakfast, amazing, 10 out of 10. The rest of their food, we were told it's like the best in the world. Maybe we ate in the wrong places. We were not impressed. It was just greasy meat and bread, wasn't it?
Yeah, and being gluten-free, that's not good. And just, the meat, it was so greasy that the next day you could tell your stomach was a bit off. And it just, I didn't really like it. The breakfast was so healthy. There were lots of vegetables and variety and nutrients. And then, dinner, it's just either bread and meat or rice and meat, and it was just, I just was craving more vegetables and just something a bit different to kebab. I like a kebab, but not every single night. Yeah, so that's one downside for us. You might like that.
But the breakfast and their tea, so good. Loved it. So, mark out of 10. We're going to do it in our new way, which I think is good. I think it's a hit. So first, Amy, let's go for your mark out of 10 for culture.
Okay. I am going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 for culture. And for that, I love everything about it. Like we said, we love the breakfast, love the language, the people. The language is difficult, but I love it. The people are really nice. There's lots to do there. And I just feel like, especially coming from the UK, it's a completely different culture. So it's really nice to immerse yourselves. Really good couch surfing there as well. We learnt a lot. The only downside for me, which has taken off a couple of marks, although it was so much better than the other countries we've been to, for example, Egypt and Jordan, but how women are lower than men. I met so many empowered women there that were independent and they could live their lives as what I would call normal, but I could still see this kind of macho culture a little bit, like going to the shisha bars that it's just filled with men. You know, the women are probably at home cooking because you don't really see them, but all the men are out enjoying themselves, having a smoke, having some man time and watching the football and gambling or doing whatever they're doing while the women are at home. So that's the only thing that took it off a bit for me. That's why it wouldn't be like my perfect type of culture. What about you, Nick?
So I'm going to go for 9 out of 10 for culture. Like you said, it's different to the UK, and that's why I want to travel. And it was pleasant. I take your point about a man's world. Probably most countries around the world are, unfortunately. But I take your point. But you reminded me of something very important. While, like I said, we said it's a secular country, like not religious in that way, but it is also very religious. I thought it was a perfect amount of religiousness because it's there, it exists, we respected it, but it's not in your face and it's not overwhelming, is it?
That's true. That's very true.
So I thought Turkey got the perfect balance, actually. So Amy, price out of 10.
Oh, now this is good again. Everything, well, I don't know, was it? It was a cheap country for food and accommodation. I thought was really good pricing, but tours and activities were expensive. So I'm also going to give that an 8 out of 10.
Fair enough, I agree. And actually, we never explained, we didn't do a balloon ride in Cappadocia for that reason, because of the price. Like, over £100 each, something like that. Yeah, it's the best place to do it, but we'd rather watch the balloons. But yeah, I would agree. But I'm going to go 9 out of 10 again. So
you're going higher than me.
2 9s from me, 2 8s from you.
And then our last category is nature. What would you give Turkey for nature out of 10?
Yeah, places like Cappadocia, the landscape was incredible. Didn't see much. I didn't see anything else that I was amazed by, but it was good. So solid 8 out of 10. So all my scores have been higher.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 as well, because you can go to Pamukkale and see the calcium, although we know that that's not natural. But you can do a lot of hiking there. There's some beautiful scenery across Turkey. Like when we was on the 9-hour train, we went through some amazing scenery. I just think if you're a nature lover, then it's definitely a country for you, because you can easily get out of the cities. And equally, if you're a city lover, it's great for you as well. So yeah, no, I think it's high marks all round.
Yeah, so there we go. 8s and 9s there. So it just backs up what we were saying earlier. We did really enjoy Turkey. We were pleasantly surprised by it.
And I just want to reinforce, I felt incredibly safe while I was there. Even when I was on my own on the Apprentice challenge without Nick, I never felt harm's way in any way, shape or form when I was around men or walking down streets by myself. I felt absolutely safe. So I just wanted to make that clear.
Fantastic. Right. Our next full big episode is going to be Brazil. I know we've done Brazil before, but we have to do another one because it's such a big place. On our second time to Brazil, we explored the northeast, which is much less travelled.
Yeah, we've said it plenty of times before, but we've been back to Brazil for the second time, and it's by far our favourite country of all time. So we are going to be talking about that on our next episode. And don't forget, guys, you can sign up to Patreon to get more content from us, t-shirts and all of that. And you can watch our trip as well as listen to it. And I highly recommend it, even though I did edit it myself.
And it really, really helps us. It really does. So thank you for everyone that's already signed up to be a Patreon and people who have bought our merchandise around the world.
We will see you next time when we're talking about Brazil.
Don't forget, you can get in touch with the show. You can email us at whatthefopodcast@gmail.com. We are also on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and we are also on Patreon. For more information on all those things, you can go to our website at www.whatthefoptravelpodcast.com.